As we went out, I took a place by the stairs and started to think. Alyssa stood beside me, wringing her hands with a pained look on her face as she watched the full moon rise. We have to call the police. We already called them. But back then it was only Slavia, and now it's also Liana. And Olga. Have you seen her? No, but what? Is she too? Alyssa burst into tears. We still don't know anything, but nevertheless, it's clear that something was... Ohne Witz, ich habe nicht gedacht, dass die Miku-Story so wird. Wer hätte denn erwartet, dass die Miku-Story so wird? Ich habe gedacht, oh ja, Miku-Story wird so witzig und leichtherzig und wir bumsen sie 5-mal und das war's dann. Aber nein, stattdessen verwandelt sich das hier in ein Higurashi-Psychothriller-Schlachtfest. Even if they're not just pretending to be pioneers and something really has happened to the world right now, I could have quite a good chance of departing from it without getting any answers for my questions. So I have to focus on survival. Survival! The word hit like a sharp pain to the back of the head. Survival. Just yesterday I didn't need to give the slightest consideration to anything like that. The quiet summer night was raining over everything around us. Not a breath of wind, not a rustle of grass, or a whisper of moving leaves could be heard. Nothing. Just a reflection of the moonlight in the cabin windows, sparse clouds up in the sky, and yet impenetrable darkness all around. They say that when you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you. And the grasshoppers! These damn critters are pulling a double shift of ching! As if they're constantly on duty. As the day shift winds up, the night shift, who got enough sleep, begins. Then the night ones knock off and I have to find some insecticide after all. At least I can wipe out a couple of divisions. With any luck that will get some quiet living space around this cabin. Sure, I can't destroy them all. What the heck out there? There are probably more of them than there are humans in this entire world. Komm mir nicht plötzlich so nah mit diesem Blick. Das Gruseligste ist gerade sie. Mit diesem Blick. Ich weiß nicht, warum der so verdammt gruselig ist, okay? Oh Mann, Alter. Kakarot! Can you hear it? Alyssa sat down and hugged up against me. Her entire body was trembling. What? Okay. I strained my ears. It seemed that somebody was slowly walking down the path to our cabin. I couldn't make anything out in the darkness, but the steps grew more and more audible with every second. Okay, don't sweat it. He won't dare to attack the two of us. Although I wasn't really sure about that. My hands instinctively started to search for something I could use to defend myself. Das Fahrrad! Hey! Sorry. Wir haben ja in die Brüste gefasst, oder? Soon enough I found a piece of water pipe underneath the bench. Warum liegt da... Egal. It's not much help, of course. It's way too thick and uncomfortable to wield probably, but it's still better than going out empty-handed. The mere sight of the monstrosity would make anyone pee themselves. Most likely from laughter. There's nothing I can do. We are as good as sitting ducks here, so I would rather move out towards the enemy. I couldn't say that I was bursting with courage and valor. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I was really freaking out. It just seemed that I had no other choice. I took a deep breath and slowly headed into the darkness. Soon enough I could make out more features of the stranger's silhouette. Not very tall, weird hairstyle, a skirt. Weird hairstyle? Wer hat weird hairstyle hier im Camp? Juliana? Lena. Oh Mann, Alter. That ought to be Lena. I lowered my guard. What are you doing here this late at night? I... Lenas face was stained with tears. Ich vertraue ihr keinen Meter. Come on. Ich dachte gerade, I led her to Alyssa. Ich weiß nicht, was Alyssa noch für Sprite-Gesichter haben könnte. Dass Lena überhaupt so ein komisches Grinsen hat, das... Ich weiß nicht, was mich bei Lenas Route erwartet, aber gut. As Lena was coming back to her senses, she tried to explain what happened. I was just sitting alone, and it's already quite late, but Miku's still missing, and happened to Slavia, and I still just couldn't reconcile this image of Lena. A sobbing girl sitting in front of me with the one that I saw at the square a few hours ago, with the grin of the devil and hellish flames in her eyes. Maybe it was just my imagination. Or maybe not. By any chance, do you know where Uljana and Olga are? She raised her surprised eyes to me. No, why, are they also missing? Well, so far we can't be sure. Semyon, at first I didn't realize that she was addressing me. Huh? Don't you think that it's way too quiet in the camp? It's night, everyone's sleeping, aren't they? I strained my ears. Indeed, there were no sounds besides these damned grasshoppers. I mean, no sounds whatsoever. What is this place usually like? Quiet, whispered Lena. Quiet, but not this quiet. I couldn't let the girls fall into panic, although I was starting to freak out myself. Dude, es ist 0 Uhr nachts, was sollten die Leute hier machen? Party feiern oder was? Yet, there were a lot of reasons to humans disappearing into thin air, horrible murders, friends that pretend to be the pioneers until the very end. I was ready to lose it. Okay, let's think rationally. This girls gave me a few questions. Looks. People can't just disappear without a trace. That means... No, but it doesn't mean anything. Suddenly we heard a rustle in the bushes behind the cabin. What the fuck? Before I could even grab a pipe, Rooter emerged from the darkness. Ah, here you are! He didn't seem to be all that concerned by all that stuff happening. Oh lord, stop jumping out at people like that. The girls are gonna have a heart attack at this rate. Although I wasn't sure who was more frightened, them or me. Yeah, I apologize. Why have you come? Have you seen Shurik? Oh Jesus fucking Christ! We haven't. It looks like half of the camp just disappeared in the last few hours. Plus, it's still quiet around here. We noticed that already. There are no lights anywhere, that's silence. Oh, don't you start whipping up the tension here, I feel sick already. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. He flashed at a mysterious smile that gave me the creeps. God damn it. Buttermeister. Okay, you stay here and I'm gonna scout around the camp. Alone? Yeah, that probably wasn't exactly the brightest idea. I have to think first, then speak. I'll go with you. Okay, then you just stay here and don't forget that Miku is still sleeping in the cabin. Sir, yes sir. What a dog. If he gave me the dopey smile in any other situation. About half an hour later, our search brought us to the square. Brought us. All the cabins were empty. What the fuck, dude? Wait a second. Wait a second. All the cabins were empty? Es gibt aktuell nur... Okay, insgesamt sind 5 Leute in den Camps. Alyssa, Lena, Miku, Buttermeister und wir selber. 5 Leute. Heißt das, wir sind gerade wieder in die andere Realität zurück? In die Realität, in der wir einen Film drehen? Das wäre jetzt meine Theorie, weil es ist ja kein Schwein da und die können ja nicht einfach alle plötzlich weg sein. Dude, what the fuck? All the cabins were empty. It looks like there are only the 5 of us left in the camp. I limped along with that pipe of mine. It appeared to be so lightweight at first, but after carrying it for some time I've learned that one can get worn out even carrying a bag of feathers. Was ist mit Miku überhaupt? Wir unterhalten uns vor der Cabin. Wir laufen umher, erschrecken uns. Miku juckt, das ist ein Scheißdreck. Where on earth is everyone? Liz appeared to be more or less calm. More or less calm. The horror of the first minutes when we were going from one empty cabin to another had already passed. Well, at least we can be sure that it's not the same case as whatever happened to Slavia. Why is that? Just think, where are the bodies? I said in a whisper, fearful and scaring her. But where is everyone then? Disappeared? Hardly a credible explanation. But if you think about it, nothing whatsoever that happened during the last 24 hours has been incredible. They couldn't just go and just like that. It's not like anything up to us now, and in any case tomorrow is still another day. I tried to put on a smile. Let's rejoin the others. But they're dead. Yeah. Agreed Alyssa with a hint of indecisiveness. We'd only taken a few steps when a rustle in the bushes came from behind. I instantly turned around and peered towards the source of sound. Alyssa clung to my hand so hard it hurt, and I tightened up my grip on the pipe. Who's there? No idea. I strained my eyes, but still couldn't make out anything in the darkness. Hey! I had no idea what to do next. The rustling suddenly cut off, and the night returned to just the usual cricket fiddling. They played us like a damn fiddle! Could it be some wild animal? I wondered with a feeling of insecurity. Wild animal? She gripped my hand even tighter. Dude, sogar ein Vogel ist ein wildes Tier. But there are no wild animals around here. A squirrel, for example, I don't know. A squirrel? Yeah, a squirrel. Well, maybe... Shall we go? Yeah. A minute later we were approaching Olga's cabin. Dude, was ist hier los? Ruta and Lena remained silent and just shrugged slightly when they saw us. So, how is it? No one out there. What do you mean no one? Everyone's gone, said Alyssa through her tears. The girl rushed into each other's arms and I sat down next to Ruta, finally dropping that abhorrent pipe of mine to the ground. It's just that simple? Just that simple. But how? I really don't know. Maybe it's an alien abduction? What nonsense. Wanna play detective, Sherlock? Well, it could be the same maniac. It's kind of way too much for just... Fuck. It's way too much for just one fuck. Way too much for just one man, don't you think? I guess you're right, but who? What is it then? It still could turn out to be just a stupid prank. And Slavia too? It's all just a stupid prank? No, she was definitely murdered by someone. But who? He gave me a narrow gaze. I've no idea. Maybe it was you! I was starting to get wound up. Aber die Fresse, du Hässlein! Or you! Not me for sure. How can you prove it? Why on earth shall I have to explain myself to you? You're the only one without an alibi. Oh, so you do have an alibi, eh? I was in my cabin at night, sure you can prove it. Sure, but Shurik's temporarily unavailable. Ruder gritted his teeth and turned away. Anyway, I'm the one with an alibi here. I'm not going to justify myself here, I'm sure about myself. It's great to believe in yourself. I'm also sure about myself, and Miko can prove me right. I was with her all the time. Not exactly the best witness. Just as good as yours. I have no idea how long we could have argued like that if Lena hadn't intervened in the conversation. Boys, come on, that's enough. You're right, sorry. Yeah. Indeed, now is not the best time for something like this. Anyway, we should stick together. Will it help keep us from disappearing? Asked Alyssa timidly. I'm not sure about all the disappearance stuff, but at least it should help us to stay alive. I glanced at my watch. It's almost 4 o'clock. Was? Dude, als ob schon 4 Stunden vergangen sind. Das sind höchstens 1,5 oder 2. Die Zeit in Russland scheint schneller zu vergehen als in anderen Ländern. The sun will be rising soon. Okay, squad, time to hit the hay, or we're gonna end up totally wiped out. But no buts. Nobody else tried to object and we entered the cabin quietly. What's happening? Oh, seems like we woke up Masha. Ich weiß nicht, woher dieses Wort kam. Okay, seems like we woke Masha up. It's okay, keep sleeping. But she was already sitting up on the bed and staring blankly at our little party. Well, you see, oh god! Disappeared! Everyone's gone! Lena burst into tears and flung her arms around Masha's neck. What's going on? Can you speak clearly? Well, long story short, I cracked my neck and impulsively reached for the cigarettes in my pocket. Finding none, I heaved a sigh of frustration and said, "It looks like there's just 5 of us left in the camp. In this camp." What? Okay. Meaning everyone in this room. Rejoice, Captain Obvious has returned. You're gonna keep watch first. Eh? Oh, nothing. Do you really think that's safe for everyone to sleep at the same time? Well, it isn't, but exactly. I handed him the pipe and slowly approached the bed where Lena was still sobbing in Masha's arms. Well, if you don't mind. I slipped my boots off, climbed over the girls, and turned towards the wall. Climbed over the girls. But how? Anyhow, sleep. I was so exhausted, both physically and more importantly, emotionally, that I was unable to do anything. Think anything, communicate with anybody und ich werde angerufen. So, wir sind zurück. Hatte kurz ein kleines nettes Gespräch und wir machen jetzt hier weiter. I was so exhausted. Ach, das habe ich ja schon gelesen. Okay. I was desperate to get some sleep. Way too desperate. Masha's whispers, Lena's sobs, Alyssa's voice, all that somehow melted in one quiet lullaby, and so I fell asleep. I was forcibly awakened by someone doing their best to shake me. Physically shake me, that is, Ruder was leaning over me and nudging my shoulder. What? It's your turn now. How long have you slept? About an hour. About a oder an hour. Ich glaube, ich habe es zumindest mal so in der Schule gelernt, dass bei Wörtern mit stillen Buchstaben hier oder Konsonanten, dann ich bin zu lange aus der Schule raus. Deutsch war sowieso nie mein Fachgebiet. Ich habe immer so gedacht, oh ja, Deutsch ist ja nicht so schlimm. Und dann kommt man da mit diesen Fachbegriffen. Egal. Auf jeden Fall, weil das H stumm ist und eigentlich man nur das O spricht, würde das A zu einem N umgeformt. Also about an hour. Na? Die haben wir aber verkackt. So, about an hour. Only, hier, da sieht man's. Only an hour, stay on your watch. I'm already dozing off. Yeah, an infinite power source wouldn't hurt for our router. Although it wouldn't hurt me for me too. Ah, fine. I rose with considerable effort, climbed over Len and Masha, who slept with their arms around each other, and jumped down to the floor. The room seemed slightly brighter. The morning's coming. Yeah. Yeah. Ruder tried to get to my place, but I grabbed him by the collar, threw him down on the floor, and gave him a blanket and a pillow. So, you can, and you cannot. Come to think about it, why can't he? Anyway, it's not important. Es gibt doch auch ein anderes Bett, Alter. Warum müssen alle in einem Bett pennen, Junge? Oder pennt da schon Alyssa? I took the chair, dragged it to the floor, and sat down and started to wait. Anticipation seemed to be the best word to describe what I was feeling. Any moment now the door will burst open and a maniac will break into the room, or at last residents of the camp will disappear. Or the last residents, or I will disappear. In any case, something will happen. I deeply felt that. Ruto was snoring his head off. The ghost was sleeping securely, and I was starting to doze off too. I clenched the palm harder. Oh. The feeling of cold metal against my bare skin somehow brought me back to my senses. I must not sleep. I'm the only hope now. And my own too. But it's so hard to resist. Oh yeah, it's hard. Just a couple of minutes. My eyes seemed to have a life of their opening and closing spontaneously as my mind wandered. Warte. Ah, fick dich doch. Ah, ach, Nase. Ah. A rustling came from behind the door. No, I must have imagined it. It's just those damn grasshoppers. What are they still up to? Maybe it's the grasshoppers to blame? They fell upon the camp like a swarm of locusts and devoured everybody. What the fuck? A vision of me being devoured by grasshoppers unfolded in my mind. A disgusting storm was brewing in my head. Their long legs, their wings, a huge head, and their eyes filled with darkness. Eyes reflecting the abyss. Just look a grasshopper in the eye and you'll never be the same again. What the fuck? Es ist doch nur ein Scheiß. Grashüpfer, Alter. Ich selber habe auch schon Grashüpfer gesehen, die sind eigentlich ganz putzig irgendwie. Also, wenn sie so im Gras rumhüpfen. Jetzt so essen oder so möchte ich die auch nicht. Oder streicheln oder auf der Hand haben. That's how it happens. I'm running away and they're after me. There are thousands of them. Millions! I'm desperately jumping over the pits and gullies, climbing hills and rocks. They don't care. They've got wings! Yeah, these filthy wings that can make that nasty rattle. Probably they wouldn't need their teeth anyway. They just have to flap those horrible wings faster and faster, summoning the sonic wave of the apocalypse. What the fuck? No! I just can't block out his hellish noise anymore. I'm falling, desperately trying to cover my ears with my hands. Please stop it, somebody! Und so haben wir eine unglaubliche Angst gegen Grashüpfer entwickelt. I was woken by a sharp pain in the back of my head. Opening my eyes, I realized that I was lying sprawled on the floor. It looked that I fell asleep and slipped off my chair. It was 9 o'clock. God damn it, it looks like I was sleeping for 5 hours straight. Anything could have happened. Horrified, I patted myself down and everything seemed to be in its place. Whew, that was close. I shook, I was caught awake. My turn already? You sleep too much, while I've been sitting here all night long. Sure, that was a lie, but telling them that I've spent the night running for my life from the grasshoppers definitely wasn't an option. I'm sorry. Ruta hung his head. Don't worry about it. Ah, I'm hungry as hell. Das könnte ein Satz von meiner Freundin sein. Masha stretched out. Mit derselben Geste. Im Übrigen, mit derselben Geste. Masha stretched out and gave me a cute smile. And why are you all here? Was ist denn jetzt los? Was ist denn mit Masha los? Don't you remember anything? No, what's the matter? Everyone's gone, said Alyssa gloomily. Ist jetzt Miku, Alter? Fick doch nicht meinen Kopf, Alter. Wenn sie jetzt Miku ist, ich raste aus. Say what? Everyone's gone, vanished into thin air. Masha glanced out of the window and said nothing. Seems like she remembered now. Well, getting something to eat is indeed a fine idea. No one was going to object. It's not like I was in the mood to eat, same as everyone else, but ultimately everyone knew that we had to keep ourselves running. Soon enough we were sitting in the canteen, quietly digging into whatever we could find. Want me to cook something? Cried Masha quietly. Let's wait for lunch, for now it's fine. She gave me a disappointed look. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We have to get out of here. But the police... We have to get out of here, I repeated stubbornly. But how? Bus. It's highly unlikely that one will come. It doesn't run too often. At least there should be a timer built somewhere around here. I try to remember if I've ever seen a bus map or its timetable somewhere. Probably not. Then we'll go on foot. Anything's better than staying here. But it's a long way to... Well, we might hitch a lift. Here in the middle of nowhere? I doubt that. Oh, stop with that drama. Oh, die Musik ist cool. Die erinnert mich gerade an Valhalla. Alter. Nice jam, dude. Oh, stop with the drama. Although thinking about it is exactly the right time for drama. I'm not being dramatic, but that's it. End of story. What are we gonna say when we reach the city? Well, we'll tell them the truth. We came to shoot a movie and then... What movie? Okay, stop fooling around, will you? I buried my face in my hands, feeling run down. Even if it was kind of funny yesterday, although it really wasn't. You can't stop it now. I don't get you. Oh, you're still going to keep on pretending that you came here not to shoot a movie, but to roleplay as a pioneer? I don't understand a thing. Alyssa swept a surprised gaze across everyone. But we are pioneers. What pioneers for God's sake? Oh, Masha trumpft auf, dude. Masha has kept silent so far, butted in. It's the 21st century out there. Yeah, right, pioneers. 21st? Looks like we're indeed in a deep mess. So, you're all gonna say that you are, well, we are normal pioneers who just came here on vacation for a week or so? A heavy silence followed. Well, yes. I cast a look at Masha. It looks like she doesn't know how to react either. I signaled to her, pointing at the door. Excuse us for a second. Having gone outside, I asked, what do you think? Well, she adopted the pose of the ancient Greek thinker. It looks like they genuinely believed that, and some folks named Semyon and Miko were in our shoes until yesterday. Well, I guess you're more familiar with them than I am. Oh, come on, I interrupted her. Couldn't you come up with a more feasible theory? I still have absolutely no theories at all. I no longer know what to think. Me neither. But anyway, all hell is broken loose here, even without taking pioneers into account. Murders! Dozens of people disappearing without a trace. That ought to be our top priority. Hier steht ein fucking Auto. Warum nehmt ihr nicht das Auto, Alter? Ah, das ist so dumm. Genauso wie bei Higurashi, ne? Mion hat immer eine Pistole unter ihrem Arm und benutzt sie nie, selbst wenn sie in Gefahr ist. Das habe ich nie verstanden. Sie hat eine fucking Pistole. Warum werden diese Dinge nie benutzt? Und hier ist ein Auto. Da drin ist bestimmt irgendwo ein Schlüssel oder sowas. Ah. I look closely at Masha. I wonder how she can keep such a cool head under these circumstances. Sure, I'm also trying to keep calm, but that means what? Let's leave this issue for later. But at least a wild guess. I guess it's somehow connected to the disappearances. It's safe to assume that one or even two or three humans couldn't deal with so many people at once. Agreed. It might be that this phenomenon somehow affected them. Might be. Anyway, it's easier to believe in that than, for example, that we are in a parallel reality or something. You know, by now I'm willing to believe in anything. Then let's stick to this theory for now. Okay. Let's go? You go ahead, I'll be back in a minute. It's dangerous to be all alone. Seriously, what's so dangerous? Broad daylight and everyone's around here. Okay.